Searching for the third segment to the key to time brings the Doctor and Romana Durst to present-day Earth, where the travelers have to contend with stone circles, Druidic rituals, and a not-so-mythical goddess known as the Kaliak. Welcome, friends and companions. How are you today? Yes, we are live now. Yes, with Doctor Who, of course. Perfect show. Fantastic. So today we do a fourth Dark story, Tom Baker. Yes, and this story is called The Stones of Blood. Yes. So sci-fi fans and fantasy fans and all sort of fans meet on this channel for fun chats about their beloved books. What are your favorite books? My favorite books are of Tolkien, Lord of the Rings. Do you know that? And favorite movies, for example, movies like The Matrix or movies like Resident Evil. I like that. Series, of course, Doctor Who, but also Blake 7 and Stargate. Um, this channel is all about entertainment, not politics and religion, because that are not entertainment. And we also talk about food and drinks, music and sport. Music. I'm a big music lover. I listen to music and I collect music, all sorts of genres and styles. So yeah, in the short term, we will do also some live streams about music, different genres and styles, because I'm a big music lover. And music that saves the day. Yes, music is for everyone. Music encourages, and music is for fun. Music is to enjoy with each other. So music. It's all about music. And we also talk about sport. What is your favorite sport? I like to watch darts. I like to watch snooker. I like to watch winter sports. I like to watch sport. Yeah, I like many sports. In fact, yes. This is Random Entertainment Channel. We discuss everything that involves entertainment, and a special place on this channel for Doctor Who, because it's my most favorite sci-fi and fantasy series. And the Doctor is very special for me. So why we called random? So I already discussed that. And Random Entertainment Channel is because we will broadcast on non-fixed times, actually on many different times. You need to subscribe to this channel to know what time the broadcast is. Random also, because we will have no guests or different guests. It depends who wants to join me in a live stream or panel. If you want to join me in a live stream or panel, feel free to contact me via Discord or YouTube, and we will look what is possible. This Discord server is called Random Entertainment Channel. Tag Doctor Who, and will find me very quickly because I bump the server regularly. So cheers, mate, and have lots of fun. Your host, Enigmatic Joker. So today, as I already said it, we will do a fourth Doctor story called The Stones of Blood. So I will do now some general info about this story, this four-part story. So, The Stones of Blood was the third serial of season 16 of Doctor Who. It was the show's 100th television story. Part 4 was first broadcast in the week of the show's 15th anniversary. And by the way, The Stones of Blood is in the context of the key to time. So that's the overarch of season 16, in fact, and this is the third serial in the Key to Time context. Yes. So that's for the full facts. So, spoiler alert, we now will dive into the plot. If you haven't watched this story, this four-part story, I highly recommend you to watch this before you listen further to this broadcast and live stream. So, spoiler alert. Need some water, and then we will dive into the four parts. Ready? Let's go. The fourth Doctor and Romana thus are about to embark on their search of the third segment of the key to time. The Doctor is excited to find that it is located on Earth, which Romana describes as his favorite planet. Romana has dressed herself in a fashionable Earth-type outfit, including a pair of 4-inch heels that this made Doctor believes will be unsuitable for walking. They prepare to leave when a voice tells them to, quote, beware the Black Guardian, end quote. At this, the Doctor reveals Romana was not sent on this quest by the President of the Time Lords, but rather by the all-powerful White Guardian, who wishes them to gather the key to maintain galactic stability. They venture outside to find themselves near the Nine Travelers, a group of cromlech or standing stones in Boscombe Moor, Cornwall. On the way, they see heavy indentations in the ground, which intrigue the Doctor. Also interested in the location is aged archaeologist Professor Amelia Rumford, who is surveying the stones with her friend Vivian Fay. The Doctor and Romana notice dry blood on the ground at the stones, and Vivian tells them about the activities of a local druidic sect. The Doctor goes to meet its implied leader, Leonard de Vries. Romana, having difficulty with walking in her heels, stays behind with Amelia and Vivian. De Vries lives in a large property nearby Boscombe Hall, built on the site of the convent of the Little Sisters of St. Gudula. Inside, De Vries and his mate Martha are chanting to the Kaliak, the druidic goddess of war and magic. The Doctor interrupts and is entertained briefly by De Vries until his host sees the opportunity to knock him out. De Vries and his mistress, dressed in a hideous birth costume, aim to sacrifice him to the Kaliak. Meanwhile, Amelia and Vivian prepare to go back to Vivian's cottage. They invite Romana to join them for a cup of tea, but she opts to stay at the circle to wait for the Doctor. After the others have left, Romana hears the Doctor's voice calling out to her. She calls out for him, and when he does not answer, she decides to investigate. Her high heels have cost her so much ilk, she pitches them and continues her search for the Doctor in her bare feet. Romana approaches a cliff edge, still hearing the Doctor call out. Something disturbs her and she yells for it to keep back. She steps backward and falls over the edge. Ooh. That's the end of part one. Part two. Als die Seawells. Romana has grabbed onto the rock face and is clinging to the cliff just below the edge. Meanwhile, the Vries and Martha argue about the validity of sacrificing the Doctor, who is now awake and tied to one of the stones in a circle. The sacrifice is interrupted by the arrival of Professor Rumford, who frees the Doctor as the others flee. Neither the Doctor nor Amelia knows where Romana is. However, after discovering her abandoned shoes, the Doctor summons K9 to help find her. They are successful. Romana is relieved to see K9, but is surprisingly mistrustful when she sees the Doctor. After they pull her up from the cliff, K9 calms her by assuring Romana it is indeed the Doctor. They conclude that it must have been a doppelganger of him who pushed her off the cliff. They assume that whoever it is must be in possession of the third segment of the key to time and has found a way to utilize its shape-changing abilities. They decide the Vries can answer some questions and set off for Boscombe Hall. After Romana is allowed to return to the TARDIS so she can change clothes and switch on to a pair of sturdy boots. So, when the Doctor gets to the hall, he finds Vries and Martha have been crushed to death. The hall is under attack by a pair of mobile giant stones like those from the moor. The Doctor and K9 repel the attack, causing the stones to retreat till the robot dog is badly damaged and needs repair in the TARDIS. Curious facts come to light. The Doctor works out that the stones need blood to survive. Meanwhile, at Vivian's cottage, Romana has pieced together that the owners of the hall in the preceding convent were all women. Wanting to know more, Romana and Rumford head back to the hall. But when Romana discovers K9's weakened state, she leaves to take him to the TARDIS for repairs. Professor Rumford remains at the hall with the doctor, and they continue to investigate. They soon find paintings of the previous owners of the hall and discover that they all had the same face, that of Vivian Pay. Woo-hoo. Meanwhile, the woman in a bird costume has brought more stones, or ochre as she calls them, to live using poured blood. Romana ventures back to the stone circle and there finds Vivian in the costume. When challenged, she fires a weapon at Romana, causing her to disappear. Oh. And part 2. Then we'll go to part number 3. So, after dispensing with one of the stones pursuing them, the doctor and Professor Rumford reach the stone circle. Vivian tells them Romana will be safe if the doctor stops interfering with her activities. She then disappears in a similar fashion as Romana had done. The doctor now identifies the stones as Ogre, a life form from Ogros in the Tau Ceti system. 2 of them are still missing and moving around the countryside. 2 innocent campers help quench their taste for blood. Doctor calculates that Romana and her captor must be in hyperspace. He builds a projecting device which he uses to transmit himself there. He arrives on a hyperspacecraft, which seems to be a present vessel, and he frees Romana. He soon breaks a lock on a sealed door, releasing 2 floating globes. They are Megara, justice machines, dispensing the law as judge, jury, and executioner. They contend that as the doctor broke the seal on the door, he has transgressed the law and should be eliminated. K9 and Amelia have meanwhile been tasked with protecting the projector used by the doctor to cross the dimensions, but they find themselves on a track from True Ogre. Vivian returns to Earth and destroys the device, but spares her friend. She takes the Ogre back to the hyperspace vessel with her and there tells the doctor and Romana she has destroyed their linking device between the dimensions, leaving them trapped in hyperspace forever. End of part 3. Part 4. The last part. The Megara destroys one of the Ogre that threatened them. The doctor has been tried in his absence by the Megara, an abrupt and unfair process dependent on the word but not the spirit of the law. He successfully petitions to conduct his own defense in an appeal. He puts Romana in the witness chair to establish that they broke the seal because he feared for the safety of the Megara. This also sets a precedent for the use of the truth assessor. He tries to draw Vivian Fay into the trial and get the Megara to subject her to the truth assessor, which will reveal her true identity to the court as a person whom they were originally set to put on trial 4,000 years ago. When he calls, quote, Vivian, end quote, to the stand, he argues she could be attached to the assessor like Romana. The Megara, however, deny his appeal on the grounds that she was not a direct witness to the crime for which he stands accused. Nevertheless, the doctor comes closer to the truth about, quote, Vivian, end quote. He argues successfully for putting one of the 2 Megara on the stand, who tells the court the nature of the journey that has kept them in hyperspace for 4,000 years. They are on a mission to find and try Cesar of Diplos, a criminal wanted for murder and the removal of misuse of the Great Seal of Diplos. The Megara states the seal has significant powers: transmutation, transformation, and ability to establish, quote, hyperspatial and temporal coordinates, end quote. So, back at the stone circle, Amelia and K9 have repaired the projector and used to beam Romana back from the hyperspace vessel and the one surviving Oakley which chases them. They find incriminating data at Vivian's cottage. Cookery books in which a number of recipes containing citrus fruit juices have been crossed out. Amelia says that Vivian was allergic to citric acid. Romana returns to the spacecraft to await the verdict on Aubrey close behind her. At the close of his trial, the doctor is convicted and the Megara fire executing beams at him. He drags Vivian into the beam's focus. The energy is divided between them, so both survive. This forces the Megara to examine Vivian to see if she is badly hurt. The doctor suggests they must examine her mind to check for damage. They find she is indeed Caesar of Diplos, and she is charged with her crimes when she wakes. The lost Ogre is confined in a cell aboard the ship to return to its own planet. Caesar is sentenced to confinement for 1500 years and perpetual imprisonment. The sentence to run consecutively. Before she is turned into a stone on Boscombe Moor, the doctor grabs her necklace, the Great Seal of Diplos, which is in fact the third segment of the Key to Time. Yes! As the Megara bring up the matter of the doctor's delayed execution, they suddenly return to their ship as it is about to leave. The doctor says he preset the controls to go before he left the ship. The Megara are going back to Diplos. The doctor, K9, and Romana return to TARDIS, thanking Amelia for her assistance. The doctor uses the tracer to turn this third segment of the Key to Time to its proper form. As he struggles with putting it together with the other two, he looks over to Romana, reminded of her boasting of being good with such puzzles. Yes, my friends, this is the end of the stories, the Stones of Blood, in the whole Key to Time, season 16. Context. So, the cast members. I named some. Of course, the fourth Doctor is played by Tom Baker. Romana is played by Mary Tam. The voice of K9 is, of course, the most famous John Leeson. Professor Rumford is played by Beatrix Lehman. Vivian Faye is played by Susan Engel. The Vries is played by Nicholas McCardle, and Martha is played by Elaine Avis Cameron. Voice of Megara is Carol Cross and David McAllister, and the campers are James Murray and Sharon Taylor. That's our the most important cast members of the story. We do some world building, of course. So, first of all, in relation to the Doctor, that the first thing is that the Doctor indicates that he has met Albert Einstein. And actually, there is a real meeting with Albert Einstein in another story. The second thing is that Professor Rumford makes a negative remark about a psychist. The doctor seems offended. Yes. Okay. The third thing about the doctor is that the doctor answers negatively when asked by Professor Rumford if he comes from, quote, from outer space, end quote, and corrects her by saying he rather comes from what she would know as her inner time. Now, something about galactic law. The Ogre aided Caesar of Diplos in contravening Article 79554 of the Galactic Charter. Now, some work building in relation to K9. K9 erases all memory banks concerning tennis after Romana casually tells him to forget it in response to a question. Another thing is that after being attacked by the Ogre, K9 is repaired by the TARDIS molecular stabilizers. So the TARDIS is capable of repairing a canine. Now about world building in relation to minerals. The only crystals Amelia Rumford finds in the house are Epsom salts. World building in relation to organizations. The Doctor mentions the Galactic Federation. It was destroyed when all-powerful justice machine found the Federation in contempt of court. I believe it the Galaxy Federation. That's also a thing about Black Seven, or same Federation, or oh, I don't know. Black Seven. Last thing in what in the context of world building species is that the cells in the spacecraft contain that worm and non-functioning Kral androids. And last thing is that the Ogre are from the planet Ogros, a planet full of amino acid swarms. So some notes about the story. Earlier said, this is the third of six linked serials that comprise the whole of season 16, known collectively as the Key to Time. Most of the time, the DVDs and Blu-rays are called the Key to Time, and that's season 16. And this is the third of the six linked serials. So, highly recommend you to watch in season 60 in all. Um, okay. And I already said in the beginning of this live stream, and this is the 100th Doctor Who story. So this is why I called this live stream Doctor Who story on 100, the Stones of Blood. So it's really a milestone in the whole story of in the history of Doctor Who. Um, okay, we will now do some continuity of the story. That is that the Doctor and Romana are still on their quest to find all six segments of the Key to Time. You see it also in the Rebus operation. This will be the first time story. And they are just putting away the second segment of the key, which they have recently retrieved. We see that in the TV story, The Pirate Planets. The second thing is that the modified Ogre appear in Pro's Legacy. And third thing is that the Doctor previously faced another alien threat, which used stone circles for teleportation. We see that in audio, Vengeance of the Stones. So more about, by the way, the whole season 16 thing. This story was released along with the Rebus operation, the Pirate Planets, the Androids of Tara, the Power of Kroll, and Armageddon Factor. And that is as Doctor Who, the Key to Time. So it's in fact a whole box set. So watch this. Ah, okay, that's all. One story is needs more time than the other, but this story, yeah, perfect. So this is the wonderful story, Stones of Blood. And before I will close this live stream, I will do some commercial. Sci-Fi and fantasy fans meet on the channel for fun chats about their beloved books, movies, series, and franchises. We also talk about food, drink, music, and sport. Random, because we discuss everything that involves entertainment, including movies and series, books, and music. Random, because we will broadcast on non-fixed times, actually on many different times. You need to subscribe to this channel to know what time the broadcast is. Random also because we'll have no guests or different guests. It depends who wants to join me in the live stream or panel. If you want to join me in a live stream, feel free to contact me via Discord or YouTube and we will look what is possible. The Discord server is called Random Entertainment Channel Tech Doctor Who. So cheers mate and have lots of fun. Your host Enigmatic Joker. For now, I have a nice day and I will see you next time. Bye bye.